Howdy. I want to tell you about the amazing thing that's happening inside this box right now. You can kind of see it up here. See that fog? Every once in a while, you'll see a little streak. And that streak has made an amazing journey. See, particles have burst out of exploding stars and have been flying through space for thousands of years and made it to Earth, flew past the Hollywood sign, through the walls in this building, and smacked right inside of this box. And we can see these little tiny trails from these particles from exploding stars. And what's amazing is that millions of these things are flying through you and me all day long. So there's amazing worlds of things that we just can't see with our eyes. And sometimes it's things from the physical world. And other things, it's sort of our future. So I couldn't imagine when I was younger that I could work at NASA. See, I went to an art school. And this is one of the projects that I did. I worked with this little grocery store, and they sell 500 kinds of soda, and they sell them all in these glass bottles. And I started to play around with bottles a lot. And I thought, maybe I could make little sculptures out of them, and I could light them in different ways. And then I became really fascinated with, maybe putting them on top of a building and lighting them up that way. But I was curious, when you blow on a bottle, it makes music, right? And I thought, what if I put a bunch of these things on top of my car and drove around? What would happen? Well, nothing happened with this one. Eventually, I got my friend, he was pushing it up and down, nothing happened there, but eventually I got the right angle and the right distance, and it made this beautiful noise. It would go boo, 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 boo. And I thought, wow, wouldn't that be cool to put on a taco truck stand so that it would drive around and it would make music just like an ice cream truck? And then my friend, she has perfect pitch, so she can listen to a note and tell you the exact note. And she went around and found from all these different bottles this amazing scale. And I don't know anything about music. I don't know anything about instruments, but I thought, wouldn't it be cool to make a pipe organ out of soda pop bottles? And, I don't know how to do anything usually. I ask lots of questions, and I found that if you ask enough questions and you find the right people, that you can accomplish a lot of different things. What's amazing, though, is that this project right here is what paved the way for me to work at this place. This is NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab. It's in Pasadena, it's right next to the Rose Bowl, and there's 5,000 people that work there, and they're doing incredible things. Sometimes they're studying the land and the sky and the sea of Earth from satellites that are going around the Earth. Other times, they're looking at stars and galaxies that are far, far away. And other times, some people are building robots that go to Mars. How many of you guys know about the Curiosity rover that landed in August? This is really crazy, amazing stuff. And there's lots of really, really smart people. And you might think, there is one way to get to JPL. You have to be really smart in high school, and you have to be really smart in college, and then you go to more school, and then you have to be smart there too. But I'm here to tell you, there are some other paths. So I didn't follow that path. I didn't do all that well in high school, and I'm not proud of that, though. See, unfortunately, I feel like I wasted a good portion of my life because when I was in school, I had no passion. There was just nothing that I was really interested in. But eventually, I went to this art school, and I realized that I did have a passion. And my passion is to create experiences for people that give them a moment of awe about the universe that we live in. Well, I ended up getting a chance to meet the director of JPL one day, and then he left, and I sent him my resume. But I sent my resume in a gigantic envelope, because who doesn't like to get a giant envelope? Everyone wants to open up one of those. And so he sent it on to some people, and we had a meeting, and they said, maybe you could do something like animations for us. And this was a really important moment in my life because I had just graduated from school. My wife had just had a baby. I didn't have a job. I had a huge debt, and we were running out of money. And I could have just said, yes, I'll do whatever you say. And I sort of did say that. But I took a risk, and I said, you know that bottle project that I was just showing you? This is what I'm really passionate in. And he could have said, that's great, son. We don't need any of that here. And in fact, quite a few people had already told me that. But he took a risk, and he said, I don't really understand what you do, but I'm going to give you 6 months, and we'll see what happens. And that was 10 years ago. So I've gotten to do a bunch of really amazing things there. Sometimes I get to think about what future spaceships will look like and where they'll go. But a lot of times I work on art installations that talk to people about what we're doing there. And this one is about the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is a giant gas planet. There's no place to walk around on Jupiter, but it's a huge storm, and there's enormous lightning storms there. So when you walk into this really big room, you hear thunder and lightning, but you don't see any lightning. But I put a bunch of infrared lights that you can't see with your eyes underneath of the fog. But it turns out that your cell phone can pick up infrared light. So the only way to see the lightning storms in this installation is through your cell phone. So this is a way of being able to see the unseen, just like that cloud chamber. So I found out a couple things about people, is that we have passions and we have skills. How many of you love to sing? Come on, how many of you love to sing? Yeah. How many of your friends covered their ears when they hear you sing? Yeah, well, your skills aren't that high. You know, the shower is a great place for you to practice. Yeah. Some people have amazing skills, but they just don't have any passion. And that was sort of me in high school. But the most amazing people I've met have passions that are just a little bit strange, a little bit weird. And that's because they can see a future that the rest of us can't see. They can see something that's completely unseen. And they're the ones who are changing culture, that are creating amazing new companies, and they're the ones who are landing robots on Mars. But you know what? These people had to work really, really hard to get there. Well, it turns out that, the jobs of the future, they just don't exist today. I'll say that again. The jobs of the future, they don't exist today. But I believe that some of you are going to follow your passions, and you're going to sharpen your skills, and you're going to see the things that us old folks can't see and be able to solve the problems of the future. So I hope that you work really hard, that your passions will be ignited so that you will see the unseen, you'll create the future, and change the world. Thank you.